So I don't know what we're going to find, but that is the primary bedding here, and it's a pretty good setup. It's really paid off a lot over the years. So we'll kind of go in there and the direction we're going. We're going to look at where I hunt first, and then we'll look at the bedding.
So the other trail that you entrance on, is that better for the wind too? For
Generally, yeah.
Generally, you're walking into the wind.
Right. Where here you kind of get it going down. Right.
To find a spot that seems primary, or I mean, like this, you had a lot of people you say are starting to hunt this beginning of the year. You see the deer all coming back because the pressure's gone. You know, I mean, or is it just something that pressure year after year, and then eventually they just abandon this?
You can burn it out. If they keep putting pressure on it, the deer will just stop coming here. And I've seen some of these small islands. There's one on the other end of the marsh that I used to hunt quite a bit that started getting a lot of pressure, and every time I'd hunt it, there'd be big bucks there, and the whole island would be tore up with rubs. But the island was a tenth of the size of this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was 50 feet wide and 80 yards long, and it would be tore up with rubs and such. And when somebody started hunting it, they put a tree stand on it. They took a boat to it, and they had a trail from the boat to the tree stand, and they had a trail camera there that they checked religiously. And all the rubs stopped, the deer activity stopped, the bedding area dried up, and the guy hunted it for 2 years, and for 2 years you didn't see no sign back there. And I would just randomly check it to see if he was still there. When he quit hunting there and he pulled his camera in his stand, the next year I don't think anybody hunted it. I didn't see any deer or any sign that next year. The year after that, I started to see some sign coming back. I started to see some rubs and stuff. And I think it was about the third year where the bigger bucks started coming back in there. It's really a huge impact.
Yeah, so
even what we're doing today is an impact on these bedding areas.
It's not just a couple months. I mean, if it's constant pressure, it's not just off season and then, hey, it should be good first of the year,
right.
More than likely.
Right. So you think about it, I mean, these deer, occasionally a coyote will run through there or something. That's no different than us. Danger's danger, right? So they're used to occasionally being shagged out of their bedding areas, and that's why they choose their bedding areas, because they got good escapes and such. Or they can smell you coming, hear you coming, whatever, right? Or they're surrounded by water. Coyotes don't generally swim to them. People don't generally swim to them. So they try to find those safety features, so they're trying to find a place where they're going to get interrupted the least. So that you can interrupt them every now and then, but if it gets to be a regular basis, or you hang out there too much, get your scent there too much, then it becomes a problem. You know, then they start to move. And for me, what'll happen here is I don't think it's as much me. Well, it kind of is. I think I kind of started that public land movement, but I think when the hunting public got involved and all those other people, that there's just this rapid growth in hunting this way, and now every public land is getting like this. And all it means is we got to hunt a little harder, we got to push a little harder, we got to look for a little more, not so obvious islands, a little more of the hidden stuff that people overlook, and work a little harder at it. The bucks are still going to be here, and most of the guys that do this make huge mistakes. I come out here and I look at how they're setting up, and I'm like, you're not doing this right. And we had a lot of guys that were setting up right on this point here, and they'd come through the cattails, they had a trail coming through, and they're set up right here, and you're thinking, what are you doing? And where do you think these deer are coming? It would just boggle me, like there's no plan. I'm going to sit here because there's rubs and it's an island. They don't just bed on islands. I mean, look at this. These islands are really wide open because there's never any logging on them or anything. They're not going to take logging equipment out here, so it's wide open. Where the deer are isn't on the island. They're on the little brushy points off the sides and the edges and stuff. And what I like in an island is a nice tapering off finger, especially if it's on a generally downwind side, which this is, into dogwood and stuff and new humps and stuff, and then it can come up out of those and come into these islands and feed on oaks, unmolested. The best action I've ever had on this island has always been 1 week after pheasant opens. Not the day after or 2 days after, but a week after. Let that pressure be around the whole perimeter of this marsh for about a week, and then come in here, and then I'd see something good come out of that bedding area. I've mimicked that and had some pretty good success, mainly years ago. I don't do it as much anymore, but by walking that perimeter, walking all those bedding areas, kind of like what we just went through in all these perimeters, 2 days in a row, and then the next day hunting here. That's worked well for me. But you got to know a marsh good for that. I mean, you got to be okay with, I'm not going to hunt those spots, and pushing them where you are. But if you look at this, I mean, how many of you looked at the map before you came here? Most of you. So you looked at this, and it may have looked intimidating, but it's probably looking pretty small about now when you're thinking all you have to do is walk that perimeter and you're in all the bedding. It's pretty easy to push these deer around and manipulate them and put them where you want them because it really isn't that big of an area. The only thing that's a little worry is that you put them across the street or something.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions about that?
So you'd still hunt outside edges on an island like this, but mostly like a point or something?
Well, I'll show you. I'm a little more inland on this. You know, closest I can get to the bedding without interfering.
Okay.
That's basically what I'm doing. I mean, I'm seeing that question a lot was, well, how far back, how this? I'm basing that on the bed. Okay, if they're bedding here, how close can I get without getting heard, seen, or smelled? And that's where I'm at. So I'm pushing that limit as far as I think I can do it without risk of getting busted. And I'm still shooting a lot of the bigger bucks right on that edge of closing.
So you get a one and done type hunt out of this if you do hunt it?
On an island like this, it's got primary bedding where the bucks are there pretty much year round. I probably hunt like 3 times in a year.
Okay.
I generally don't, but I don't think most of you have as much bedding areas as I do because I do this all the time. I generally hunt out here about once a year, maybe twice. But you could probably get away with about 3 times. And I think if you're getting in there more than 3 times in a season, I think you're
hurting yourself.
You're hurting the spot. You know, you're gonna start seeing lesser bucks.
How much would you stagger it out? You know, if you say
Early
3
season,
times, you're
rut,
talking
and
late
late season,
season.
or early season done and late season. And, you know,
Gotcha. So,
spread out pretty good.
so not like a couple days in a row.
Well, I would do a couple days in a row before I do the next week. So if I came in here and say a buck got by me, I'd come the next day for sure. I mean, it ain't a steady rule, but if you see something, you know, if you come out here and there's no deer here, you see some rubs and stuff, but no deer come by. Well, they weren't here. Why are you going to come back the next day?
Right.
Just to get your scent there again? So, to me, you at least want to wait till the deer come back. Because if they're in that bedding area that close to you and you don't see them, there's got to be some reason. They couldn't have been there. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So why are you hunting there if they're not bedding there, kind of thing. So an area like this, I look at this and I think, why would a deer want to be here? Well, you got isolated oaks, right? So early season is always a good option. So I do really well here early season because of the acorns. Most of the oak flats out here get a lot of pressure. This don't, because it's isolated out here and across water and hot out. And, you know, people don't want to walk this far in the heat. And then it was the pressure would put them back. It would be the next primary thing. So you got to do the detective work. You got to look at something like this and say why, when, where, how. Not just find the beds and say I'm going to set up in these beds, and then to randomly, you know, if it's primary like this is, you could hunt it year round. But there are certain peaks when I'd see the biggest deer. And for me, it would be right around the opener. If there's acorns dropping, if there's not acorns dropping, if it goes down out here. And then right after heavy pressure, put them out here.
How much time would you give yourself to come over here and get set up to walk?
Now granted, I'm coming in from a different direction.
Okay.
But it probably takes me, I'd say an hour to get back here. But, you know, you're speed walking most of the way. It's when you hit the water and you're getting close that you got to start being either careful or quiet and slow.